What's going on, fellas? This is a new installment of the Be a Man podcast. It's your boy CJ. And I want to do an episode this morning, man, about knowing when to end a relationship. Now, I'm not just talking about a love relationship as far as a girlfriend or a wife or whatever, but I mean like any type of relationship you can think of, right? If you're in business and you know that the company at some point is going to have to fold to cut losses, right? You gotta fold. If you are at a job that is draining you mentally, spiritually, and you absolutely hate life going to this job every day, then you have to, of course, you have to end that relationship, right? If you got a friend who undermines you and is really not for your best interest and consistently show you that they're not truly your friend, then you have to end that friendship. And more importantly than ending a dead relationship, because that's what they are. Relationships are living, breathing things, right? And at some point, in a lot of cases, not all cases, some relationships are able to sustain for the long term. But most relationships, man, on average, I'm not even going to say most, I'm going to say on average. On average, most relationships die, right? And it's not necessarily a bad thing when a relationship dies. It simply means that the duration of that experience has run its course. Now, more importantly than ending, way more important than ending a relationship, is knowing when to end it. Far too many times, man, we hang on to dead relationships far longer than we should, right? So you're literally hanging on to a corpse, and for whatever the reason is or may be, sometimes we actually think or believe that a situation can be resuscitated somehow, right? Now, in some cases it may be, but I'm talking about the scenarios to where a relationship is completely flatlined. Nothing good can come from continuing any form of relationship with this person or this thing, right? It could be anything. It could be like if you're looking at it from like an addiction standpoint, people have relationships with their vices, right? You have alcoholics, you have drug addicts, you have I guess like sexaholics. I don't know if that's the official term to use, but anything that you are in a relationship with, or anyone that you're in a relationship with, and the opposite of peace is constantly brought to you, to where it takes an effect on your mind, and I mean, like, it gets to the point to where, man, like, that stuff is detrimental to the brain, man. Like, there are people like who've killed themselves, like, from the stress of not knowing how to end a relationship or how to get out of a situation that really wasn't bringing them any joy, you know? One thing also, man, as a piggyback on that, I want us to learn how to create our own joy in 2019. But there'll be like a separate episode on that. Me and Corn will put something together. But know when to end a relationship. And here's why it's important to know when to end a relationship. When you don't know how to end a relationship and you remain in that relationship and it's toxic, what's going to happen over time is you will slowly begin to lose yourself. And once you've lost yourself completely, it's very hard to get yourself back. And I'm talking about your authentic, genuine, original self. It's so hard to get yourself back after you have allowed a person or a situation to drain all of the good parts of you away, right? And you have to look at a negative relationship or in a relationship with a person who is a negative or a toxic person, or it may not even be that. They may just not be for you. Sometimes we get into situations with people who just aren't for us, and we have to know how to cut those ties at the right time. I would almost say it's better to cut the ties early than to cut the ties late, because the damage that comes with hanging on too long is detrimental, man. So this is going to be a really short one. I'm not going to carry on too long, but do an audit, all right? Do an inventory, man, of your life, and just look at the fruitful relationships you have, whether it's family, friends, associates, whatever, and look at the relationships that you need to cut. A person saved in your phone and you haven't called or text them in like months, and vice versa. They haven't thought to reach out to you, you know, just to check on you to see if you're alive or whatever. Ask yourself, why do you have the relationships you have? Like, why are we connected? So anyway, it's your big brother CJ. This is the Be a Man podcast. Think about it. I'm out.